about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
there is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies. There's going to be some mechanism of doing what I said, the calibration of currencies that's going between that can just.
We use this digital asset called XRP to settle liquidity needs between banks. So today there's $27 trillion parked at different banks around the world so they can make payments between each other. Our view is you can use a digital asset like XRP to do that in real time. Because XRP has been so efficient, it settles a transaction about 3 seconds compared to Bitcoin.
So it just passes through that currency for that period of time.
That's correct.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. This is going to be absolutely crazy. We are going to connect dots with some hardcore video evidence on how stablecoins are going to utilize XRP to scale, okay, reduce the friction, and bring down the fees when doing FX transactions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. This is going to be one of the best put together videos. I've been away for almost 4 days, so we're going to come back strong with some hard-hitting facts that you just cannot deny, okay? Let's set the tone with what Jerome Powell said just days ago about payment systems.
As you pointed out, there is no question that we are in a time of rapid technological change in the financial sector, especially in payments. And as is often the case at times like this, there's a mixture of innovations that will have lasting and perhaps salutary effects, and those that will turn out to be mostly high.
And then if you guys remember what Kevin O'Leary said about JP Morgan, okay, take a listen to what he said when they were spreading FUD.
He feels threatened by some of this technology, particularly around payment systems, because banks make money transferring assets. It's a cost of friction in the system. And one of the only reasons that I invested in Circle, and I'm an investor in Circle, I'm supporting their initiative, and I'm a big believer in what stablecoins can do, is it's time to get rid of that friction. And it's not important that banks be protected so that they can make fees from that friction. When you transfer the US dollar into the Swiss franc to buy Nestle on the Zurich exchange, these banks add zero value. There's no value created in ACH transfer fees. If we could use a stablecoin that was regulated and approved by both sides of that transaction, it would be more transparent, it would be much faster, it would definitely be more productive, but above all, I would save millions of dollars.
And that is why America is coming after Ripple, because Ethereum and Bitcoin are controlled by China. 60+% of hash rates are offshore. And this is a technological warfare that the US is losing, and they need to grab onto something like the Ripple network. Okay, take a listen to this. Okay, we got a lot of videos here. $14 trillion earthquake. Fidelity and BlackRock are quietly laying the groundwork for the next Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto price bull run. Okay, take a listen to this. Larry Fink, the chief executive of the world's largest asset manager, wrote in his annual letter to stakeholders, adding a very interesting developments are happening in the digital asset space, and they're doing this silently. Last year, Fink predicted crypto's blockchain technology will usher in the next generation for markets after signing a major deal with Bitcoin and crypto exchange Coinbase. Coinbase, big user of USDC, okay? We need to come into consideration that there's a lot of indirect partnerships going on here. And just put a mic drop moment. In 2019, BlackRock hired former Ripple executive Robbie Mitchnick to lead its digital asset area. In a podcast in September that year, Mitchnick was referred to as the firm's blockchain lead and outlined precisely the same performance trade-offs of speed, scalability, privacy, and security. And to date, Rob Mitchnick is still the head digital asset at BlackRock. And if you guys don't remember who Robbie Mitchnick is, he's the one that put together the fundamental valuation framework for crypto assets with Susan Atley, where they predicted on the high end for Bitcoin, 93,000, and on the low end, 45,000. And this was supposed to happen by 2030. And folks, they blew these numbers out of the water for Bitcoin, which comes down to XRP. They predicted XRP's high price at $32.91. Again, these are very conservative. You got to understand they're working for Ripple. They were so accurate with the Bitcoin prediction. Okay, we were up at 65,000, 45,000 on the low end. And this was back in 2018 for an outlook for 10 years from now. Absolutely crazy. Okay, and now the best part of the video. Take a listen to these clips. Okay, this is a collage put together. They all are working together in silence. Just listen very carefully. I cannot stress this enough. This is going to completely blow your mind.
To see a lot of interest in institutional capital coming into, let's say, USDC and Circle. Circle, by the way, took in $200 million from Fidelity and $200 million from BlackRock a few weeks ago.
That's how we're going to solve this problem. And I think we're really close. I mean, USDC itself we've seen over $3.5 trillion of transactions directly on the internet between counterparties. And so if we can, improve it with more scalable blockchain technologies like, Brad's company provides.
Rolling out this new stablecoin, does that kind of freeze you guys out? Or
I think it's actually helpful. One of the problems that people have is the ability to hold digital assets can be difficult, particularly with the volatility in some digital assets. Stablecoins are safer to hold if you can trust the issuer. So I think to that extent, it can be helpful because you still need liquidity. So if you imagine a dollar stablecoin issued by JPM, and you have maybe some other dollar coins issued by companies like Circle, and everybody seems to be issuing a stablecoin, and then you have stablecoins in other currencies, because if you're not in the United States, a dollar coin is not really all that stable. You still need liquidity between those stablecoins. And I think it's also important to remember that these stablecoins have counterparties, and there isn't a universal counterparty. There isn't some counterparty that everybody in the world can have equal access to. It's going to have to be in some jurisdiction. It's going to have to be part of some regulatory regime. And so I think if the vision is this sort of open participation, this sort of internet of money, collateralized stablecoins will be players, but I think there will still have to be liquidity between them. And if you imagine dozens of stablecoins, hundreds and hundreds of markets is probably not going to be as efficient as going through some sort of assets that aggregate, like the dollar does today. The dollar sort of aggregates demand for smaller currencies, and we see XRP playing that role.
But what we're able to do now, this is really the end game, is what can we do to turn that on with this blockchain technology and cryptocurrency to even accelerate that network. So we have a product called On-Demand Liquidity, which is effectively using XRP, the digital asset, to settle between members of the network, between big corridors on that network. And again, do so in a way that has been highlighted today, that we can track who sent it, who received it, when did that happen, irrefutable.
I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies, that should be done.
Who gets squished by that? Who are the middlemen who are making money on that?
The banks.
It's a basket of fiat currencies. It's like,
but the crypto is just keeping track of it.
There's no inherent value.
But you don't need that. If you had this mechanism in every transaction, you could minimize the transaction cost.
That's the whole idea, right?
That's what the whole idea is. But there is a huge need to bring down the fees of the interchange. There's going to be some mechanism of doing what I said, the calibration of currencies that's going between that can just...
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.